What's up guys, it's MTG Matt for you. Today we're going into the ladder with a human legendary tribal aggro deck. And you're gonna see different versions throughout the gameplay. If you wanna see the full deck explanation, check out my deck tag at the end of this video. You can simply click on the chapter in the description below or just go straight through the chapter in the video player. Hope you guys enjoy the games and I'll see you at the end.
What's happened to all my enemies? They're toast. Out of the frying pan and into, well, you know. You're no match for my students. The experience will do you good. Who needs the sun when you've got me around? I'll be fine.
What's up guys, it's MTG Matt for you, and it's day 1 of the expansion in Dominaria United. And I started off my laddering in the new expansion with this legendary Human Tribal deck. Now, the games I showcased in this video are gonna be a little bit different. It's not only going to be this deck, because I tried out a lot of different versions. I also tried out the version with Jaya at the top end, but at the end of the day I settled on this very list right here, which I think is the most powerful. Now, obviously there are going to be people out there saying that day 1 of the expansions, why would you go for aggro? Well, just because, you know, I saw the preview cards, I saw the cards that would be left and centered, and I just wanted to try something out which I figured could be strong, and this is the result. Now, to be clear up front, this is not a very competitive deck. I think it still needs some tweaking, or it might just not be good enough for the new upcoming meta we have right now. But let's go through the deck. First of all, we got the 1-drop slot. Nothing's changed really here. We got 4 copies of Hopeful Initiate, 1-drop that can, you know, grow over time, and occasionally also destroy artifacts or enchantments. It's just a fine 1-drop, and then you don't really have a lot of other options in the 1-drop slot. I chose Chaplain of Arms. Now, initially I had Kumano faces Kakazan in the 1-drop slot as well, but the land gaze was getting really tricky in, you know, guaranteeing a red mana on turn 1. So instead I opted for a full white 1 mana base. And Chaplain of Arms is just the second best 1-drop there is in white in an aggressive deck. So Chaplain of Arms is a 1 mana 1/1 with first strike and ward, and we can later disturb it to get a 2/1 flyer that gives ward 1 to all of our creatures, which is really relevant, right? Gives us something else to spend our mana on if we run out of gas, and a ward 1 on everything else, really good. Now the 2-drop slot is where new cards come in here. Most importantly, we got Baird, our given recruiter, which is really one of the best new cards for Human Tribal. Isobora Kratos is a 2-drop, 2 mana 2/2, which says at the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with power greater than space power, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. Now, we have a lot of ways to enable this in the deck. The easiest ways to enable this are our Anthem effects from King Darien, the 48th, I think? Something like that. Is it 48th? 48th, yeah. Which gives all of our creatures +1/+1, or all other creatures themselves. So this already, you know, it's an excellent 3-drop that enables our Baird. And on the 4-drop slot, we also got Sigardia, Champion of Light, which gives all of our humans +1/+1. So these are ways that we can enable Baird. Other ways are if Hopeful Initiate has a 1/1 counter on it, or if we use the new 2-drop Guardian of New Benalia and use a new enlist mechanic that lets us enlist the creature to scry to and also increase its power. And this power is going to be increased until the end of turn, so at the end of the turn, Baird will trigger from an enlisted, or like a Guardian of New Benalia that has enlisted. So these are the 2 new 2-drops for this aggressive Human Tribal that both really important. Then of course we still got Thalia, which is an all-star, nothing new here. And then in the 3-drop slot we got King Darien that I already talked about. Excellent 3-drop, gives an Anthem to all of our creatures. Can also protect our creature tokens by sacrificing itself and giving them hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. But then also later in the game, if we run out of gas and have nothing else to do with our mana, we can pay 5 mana to put a 1/1 counter on it and create another soldier. That's also obviously going to be a 2/2 because of the Anthem. So King Darien, really good 3-drop. As you might notice right now, we have 4 Bears, 4 King Dariens, because we want to draw them really consistently. And we don't mind that these are legendary, because first of all, we want to draw them consistently, but also we can just discard access copies from our hand to give Guardian of New Benalia indestructible. It's really, really good. And also what's new in the 3-drop slot is Anointed Peacekeeper, a 3 mana 3/3 with Vigilance. And when it enters the battlefield, we can look at an opponent's hand and choose a card name, and the spells of the chosen card name our opponent controls cost 2 more to cast. So it's like an elite spellbinder effect, but it's different in a way that First of all, this effect only lasts as long as Peacekeeper is on the battlefield, unlike Elite Spellbinder, which would, you know, still have its effect for the exile card once it left the battlefield. However, the difference is you can name cards in your opponent's hand that aren't there yet, so you can preemptively name a card for the future. And also, this affects multiple cards, right? So you can, if possible, you might be able to lock out an opponent, like 2 cards from his hand when playing the Peacekeeper. Then also we got Brutal Kafar, just removal, nothing new here, and 4 copies Cigar Champion of Light. Also 4 copies because we want to draw it consistently. And between Sigarda and King Darien, we have a lot of Anthem effects, and our board goes real wide with Baird. Baird is really like the secret MVP of the stack. And yeah, I really had a lot of fun trying out, experiment with this deck on the first day of the expansion. And I haven't even mentioned the most important part of this deck, which was the main reason I wanted to try this out, is because we got a really good new land base for a deck like this in 4 copies of Friend Portal, which comes into play tapped as long as it's basically the first, second, or third land you play in your game. And we can choose any color, so it really fixes our colors, which enable us to play basically a Naya deck, right? Then we have 4 colors that include the Courtyard from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, where we can name Human and just, you know, get any color we need for our humans. And then we also got Plaza of Heroes, which lets us tap for any mana as long as we cast it on a legendary spell. And we get Thalia, which is legendary, Baird, King Darien, and Sigarda. So all these lands really enable a good land base for aggro decks. We also got 4 copies of Karplusan Forest, which is an untapped dual land for Gruul colors. And what's really missing here is the untapped Pain land for Boros colors, which we're gonna get in Brothers War. So this kind of deck can become better in the future. But for now, that's all I gotta say for this deck. Had really fun experimenting with this. So hope you guys enjoy the games, and I see you guys soon.